I know we're loving the playlist, aren't we? But it is 1:30, so gonna hit pause on it for now, but just know that that playlist is yours to keep. It is in the Educate and Rejuvenate app in the event section under the Start Here section. And also, we'll probably move that playlist just generally in the app too. So if you're here and you just came from our Facebook group or email or whatever, then just download the Educate Rejuvenate app. We have good stuff for all of you. So Terry's here from Maine, Monica's here, Latrice is here, Chris is here. I see Amanda, Lindsay. Oh my goodness, we got such a great Sarah, Amanda, another Amanda, amazing. Anit, Anki. How do I say your name? Can you tell me so I can make sure I'm pronouncing your name right? Anki. Let me know. Cindy is here from Virginia. Charity is here. Amazing. I love seeing so many new and old faces here in the chat. Megan is here from South Carolina. I love how we get to connect from all over the world. Okay, so what we're doing today, I'm not even going to be screen sharing at all. In fact, at least I don't think so. Maybe at some point, you never know. But today, Linda, Monica, hello. I love seeing all of our friends here. If you'd like, we are in a Zoom room. You can turn on your camera if you want to. You also don't have to. It is up to you. I am going to, I'm not the host. Kinsey, can you spotlight me? That's not like, can you put the spotlight on me, please, Kinsey? Just so everybody can see this planner better, because that is what we're talking about today. We are talking about how you can intentionally plan for your year potentially using the Educate Rejuvenate Planner, but really you're going to learn a lot of tips and strategies that you can use no matter what. And we're going to be giving away a planner to one of you in the chat. You got it. Thank you, Kins. So we have it in 3 colors. We have green, pink, and blue. So for those of you, first of all, which color is your favorite? I know it's so hard to decide. I see Chris holding hers up. I love it. It's such a great planner. For those of you who've used the planner that we have, pop in the chat and let us know how you've been using it. Give tips and tricks for those who are here, because I'm going to be doing a full flip through, sharing my tips and tricks and why I intentionally designed a lot of it the way that I did. But I love how we can also share with each other, and I will read out any comments. So they're on the replay too, for any tips that anyone shares. And I'm seeing lots of green, blue. I love how bright they are. Yes, they're all bright colors. I see some pink, blue, lots of blue, and then a bunch of green. It's funny, you all kind of came in a row. It's like, oh, everyone likes pink. Oh, now everyone likes blue. Now everyone likes green. So funny. I love it. I love all the colors. I feel like you can't do wrong. It could even be a whole collect them all situation, right? Because you can use it year after year. Okay, so right now, I guess we're going with blue for now. So the one thing to know is that on each of these, the exterior is only different. So we've got the 3 different colors, but the inside of the planner is the same no matter what. So it doesn't matter. We just ended up with blue here. And the one change you will notice for those who've used the planner before is we now have these patches that you can put on the planner if you would like. And Zoom is obviously showing it backwards, but we have these adorable Educate and Rejuvenate patches that my husband laser engraved, handy Randy, for those of you who've heard of him before. So Educate and Rejuvenate on there. So if you don't want to, some people didn't like it saying wife, teacher, mommy, because they're like, maybe I'm not one of those things. So we've got this for you. It's our new brand. It's also the movement that we are all working towards, that we can teach and be a whole human outside of it. Nicole loves the handy Randy, right? It's perfect. It's just perfect for him. He actually even has an Etsy shop with that name, and we've been doing the fun markets around too, because he makes all kinds of fun stuff. Holly just got her nails done with French tips as bright blue. Oh, I love that. I would love to see them. Chris says blue matches your school color. Chris says, love the patch, and it's not back. Oh, good. And then it's not backward for you. It was backward for me when I was like, when on the way I'm seeing it, for some reason it's backwards, but I'm glad it's not for you, because then as I'm doing the tour, I'm like, oh no, is the whole thing going to be backwards? So hopefully it's not for all of you, and it just is for me, and I can deal with that. Holly says they match my son's performance t-shirt for tomorrow. He's in Disney Dare to Dream Junior. Oh my gosh, good luck to your son. That's so fun. Latrice loves the patch. The patch is really fun for sure. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to flip through this planner. We're going to look through it. And as we go, I'm going to be sharing tips and tricks for planning and creating an intentional year, because that'll happen naturally, because that is what this planner helps you to do. Megan said, teachers with partners who can do stuff like that are the luckiest. My husband 3D prints. I have tons of 3D printed supplies. I love it. My husband uses a laser engraver and a 3D printer, which my son is now learning to use the 3D printer. It's so much fun. Nicole is excited for this planner. Yes, so make sure if you are here, because there are more of you in the room than I believe I've seen in the comments, your entry to this giveaway is commenting. So make sure that you comment in the chat, and that will enter you to win the free planner. And Kinsey is going to make sure they don't forget. Kinsey, even put it in the chat, put the name in the chat, because on our live yesterday with the bots, like half of the room had left, and I was like, oh no, I forgot to announce the winner. And it's because I get so excited to be with all of you in this room and just into what we're doing. And then my brain goes all over the place and I forget that I didn't announce our winner. So I've told my team to just put it in the chat, like put it in the chat too, and that will remind me to announce it. So more comments equals more entries. Exactly. So keep them coming. We love all the colors. I love seeing the hearts. I love seeing you all engaging on each other's comments, because again, we're a community here. We love chatting with each other. So fun. Fern can't wait to find out all about the planner. Latrice is excited about using the planner. Holly, Amanda's hoping to be more organized this year. Can't wait to see what this has to offer. So we have some of you who've used the planner. We have some of you, who's your first time seeing this planner in action? Let me know in the chat. Several first timers. I love it. First time. Love it. Lots of first timers, actually. I'm seeing more. Amazing. And I'm seeing new names who haven't commented yet. Good job. You're getting your entries in to get the planner for free. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to start the flip through now. So I'm just going to flip through. Ask me your questions as I go. And so it's just the intro pages. Here is just a beautiful spread of how to use the planner. Can we get it in your husband's Etsy shop? How can I get the patch from it? Oh, for those of you who already have it. Yeah, email us. We'll figure out a way to do that. We don't have that yet, but as we're getting everything, getting all the orders and everything together, we can do that for all of you. So how you can use it. The thing that I love about this planner, this runs down that we have not only all the pages you'd expect in a teacher planner, but pages that help you to rejuvenate and think of your goals and intentions and your life outside the classroom at the beginning as well. And that can be both inside and outside the classroom. You'll see, we'll get into it. There are goal setting pages. There's a room for two, a green and a blue. And my usual recommendation is that I have one of those goals related to teaching and one of those goals related to something outside of teaching. Of course, you get to decide. This is your journey, your planner, your way. But you get to use those however you'd like. Charity said, mine is sitting on a shelf. I haven't figured out how to incorporate it when I'm just subbing currently. Oh, I will. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's definitely talk about it, because I feel like this planner, even if you're not teaching full time, you can still definitely use it. I love, Megan says, that was, Megan is commenting saying same. A lot of you are saying you love the bookmark ribbons. Linda says, I love that there's a how-to. More planners need this. Yes, and we actually, every time when we haven't been actually pushing selling the planners as much. Now it's been more about like when you join the club, it's a thing. And then we do have them in the Educate and Rejuvenate Etsy shop if you just want to buy one for $49.99 as well. But we don't really do that a lot. It's more like a member benefit usually. But when we made sure that I had a planner walkthrough, but it's basically what I'm doing right now, that teaches you how to use the planner. It's not just like, here's a planner, good luck. I want to make sure that it's nice to have the video of what the person who designed it had in mind. It was another planner I used a few years ago. She did this and I was like, yes, when I create my planner, and at that time I still had that goal to create a planner on my own someday. I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure that I don't just like hand you a planner and say good luck. I want you to be able to apply and use it in the best way possible, right? All three colors are fab. I can't even keep up with all your incredible comments. I'm going to pop it out so I can make it so it's longer. There we go. So I can see more comments at the same time. I love that. I love that more. Okay, Megan said, I'm only a second year teacher, so I need a good organization system too. I love the directions or hints. I've gotten planners and I have no idea what some parts are for. Yes. So this will be a full walkthrough, and also ask your questions as we go too. For those who are here live, I know some of you will be watching this on the replay. If you have questions, then put it in the chat in the app or email us at hello@educateandrejuvenate.com and we'll be happy to help you. So here it goes over the planning pages we have and also the 3 ribbon bookmarks. So you have all 3, you get all 3 colors, right? Still, because you get the ribbons, right? You get a little taste of all 3 and then you pick your main color for that. So what we recommend with the ribbons is that of course you get to choose where you want them, but we recommend having them for the current week, right? Have your ribbon there. And then maybe there's a page with your goals, like your habit tracker, that you have a ribbon there so you can easily get back to your habit tracker, and we'll get there. So as we're going through the planner, you can kind of imagine where would I put these 3 ribbons, right? I would say most likely you will do it for the week, the month, and the habit tracker, but you get to pick, right? Yes, I hate how you only get 1 bookmark with other planners. Yes, we have 3. We have 3 for you. So let's get into the goal setting and life planning. And I love the full page quotes that we have in here too. So goal setting and life planning, these are the pages that are going to help you create your intentional school year, which if you've been coming to my live sessions that I've done, that is a lot of what we've been talking about. And the amazing thing is we created this planner and ordered a lot of them before we rebranded. So it was wife, teacher, mommy, and yet it was still like the Educate Rejuvenate. We had the event and that was still where we were headed, because we are not just a curriculum company, we are also a coaching company. And now it's kind of almost coaching first and curriculum second, because the coaching is the most important piece of what we do here at Educate and Rejuvenate. There are so many companies out there that are putting out resources, and we put out great ones for pre-K through 6, and you have them, but also we are here to help you rejuvenate. We are here for community. We are here for support. And that is what most of our members find that they come and that they stay for. So these first 2 pages, we have 15 wins this year. So before we even look at the next year, we want to always celebrate, right? And I mentioned this during one of my sessions that when I first started working with a life coach, I was a little annoyed at first when at the beginning of each session, she'd want to spend the first 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, this is a good chunk of our session on what were your wins since last time we met. And I was just like, why are we wasting time on this? I need to get to fixing all my problems. But again, we learned through this. Our brain looks for evidence of what we are thinking about. And so when we take that time to intentionally think about our wins and see, oh, wow, I've come a lot further than I thought, it helps us to see how much we've actually done. And also we tend to underestimate how much we get done in a year. So think of 1 year ago, last summer, what are things you've done since then that you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. There are probably so many. So this is an opportunity. And my mentor, Brooke Castillo, recommends not 15, but 50. But we couldn't fit 50 in here. And when I even mentioned 15, everybody's always like, what? So again, you could keep going if you want. Keep going. But I challenge you to at least fill these 15 spots of wins that you have had for the year. Amanda says, yes, always stay positive and look at what we can be thankful for. Linda, school always starts with celebrations. I love that. That is great school culture right there. And Holly, staff meetings start with kudos. I love the different things we call it, right? Wins, kudos, celebrations. Either way, we're doing the same thing, right? We're looking for the positives, the things that we've done. Charity is, have to retrain my brain to think of wins. Yeah, but this is a way to do it. And it does take some retraining sometimes. If we're used to just looking at what's next, okay, next. We don't even take that time to pause in the moment and be like, oh, wow, look how much I've done. Then of course, it's going to take some time to rewire that and to be like, oh yeah, let's pause for a sec and see how far we've come. And then from there, we feel so much more momentum to get where we want to go, right? Brooke says, I felt that way at the end of the year when I had my students think about all they learned. Yes, yeah. So it really helps. We can have our students do it and then do it ourselves too, model it for them. Be like, here are the things we accomplished together this year, or here's what have you accomplished? I want to hear it. I'm going to share with you what I accomplished to model for them. Like, oh yeah, even as you grow up, because I want my kids and my students to know that yes, even when you grow up, model for those little children. that as they grow up, they matter too. Their needs matter, right? Lacey loves that wins are always helpful on those hard days. I have to start celebrating my wins. Yes. So see, I told you this is not just a planner walkthrough. We're like 2 pages in, right? We're talking about our wins. So the next thing we look at is then once we do that, we start thinking of the possibilities here. So think about all the things you want to achieve this year, write them down below. That is the only direction that it gives in here. But one thing, one fun little trick that you can take or leave that I also learned in my coaching certification is to on a few of them, you can even look at something that you've already accomplished and be like, oh, wait, yeah, I can do that. I mean, you did do that over here. But again, she recommends that you could even like kind of switch off. Like maybe you do a win and then you think of something you want to accomplish. So it kind of trains your brain like, okay, yeah, this is something I did in the past and this is something I did in the future. And my past and future self, it's all me. I can do all of this. Right. Megan says we can do a growth parade every year at the end. We make posters of our wins. I love this. Charity says, I guess I am in a way. Oh, Charity, look at that win. You're already finding, oh, actually, I am doing it. I need to retrain my brain. But oh, look, now that I'm pausing and I'm thinking about it, here's what she said. I guess I am in a way. I tend to text my husband telling him things I've done during the day. So you are doing it. Now let's just notice and do it even more. Do it more intentionally. Linda says, love the positive outlook of 15 things to do different or something similar. Yes, it's not like things I need to change or things I'm doing wrong, right? It's just like, what do I want to do differently? What do I want to create in the next year? Bern says, love the idea of celebrating wins, students, and myself. Yes, 100%. Okay, here is my favorite part. You guys, I love this part. So this is where we start breaking down our goals. This is the first part of it. Okay, so this is where I talked about how there's a blue and a green. Goal number 1, goal number 2. So these are the steps that we have in this planner to help you accomplish your goals. So first, you're going to write down, what do I want to achieve? Or why do I want to achieve this goal? So what you can do, this can lead into that. You can pick just 2 of the things you write here to really focus on. It doesn't mean you're not going to do the other things, but usually we don't want to overwhelm our brain by trying to do too many things at a time. So that's why we recommend focusing on the 2. Again, you can also grab the printable version of this planner if you're like, I do want to break down more, or if during the year, maybe one of these goals doesn't take the whole year, and then you want to do it again, you can download the printable version and print out as many copies of these pages as you would like. So goal number 1, why do I want to achieve this goal? You write that down. The why is important. We hear that a lot as teachers, but it sounds cliche, but really it is important. Like, why do I want to achieve it? And get to the root of the real why. Maybe ask yourself a few times, because at first it might be something more surface level, or I want to do it for the kids, or I want to do it for this, but really kind of try to dig in deep a little bit. Why is it that I want to accomplish this goal? And then when do I plan to reach this goal? And this can sometimes cause a little bit of overwhelm, right? And so this is where I tell you to tune into yourself, because sometimes I can tell you there's a goal where I put a deadline on it and then it doesn't happen by then. And what we have to do if that happens is just know that we've still made progress. We're still making room towards our goal. We can change this at any time. So just remember that when you put down a date, it is good to do that just because it gives our brain something to focus on. But then when we get there, that's the time we can always reevaluate, right? And be like, and also believe in that goal until that date, because sometimes it might seem like, oh, there's no possible way that I could do it. It's like, no, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving towards it. And no matter what, you're going to have that positive momentum. Polly talks to her mother-in-law several times a week, and we always talk about the positives. I love it. Goals have always been difficult for me. Amanda says, I love having it all laid out in a graphic organizer to help. So nice. Yes, this can really help. And it's nice having this tangibly and having it in the book you're using to plan all the time, so you can refer back to it, right? The next question is, what habits do I need to reach these goals? Again, because it's not about that end goal. It's about the little habits that help us get there. So we need to look at what habits do we want to reach? And we're going to be doing a lot more with this, with the habit tracker, right? And then the next thing we're going to do is, again, how am I going to celebrate my wins along the way? Not just when I get there. It's not about the there. It's the journey over the destination. It's the progress over perfection, all the things we've had on our tumblers in the past here at Educate and Rejuvenate, right? So how are we going to celebrate along the way? Not just when it gets to that rosy rainbows, I made it there, now what, right? then what measurable results will I see when I achieve this goal? So this is, how are you going to know that you got there? We just need to have some way to know that you achieved that goal. And then how will I celebrate when I reach this goal? Because we do want to celebrate when we get there too. And we want to make sure that we own our wins along the way when we get there and not just move on to the next one. So Nicole says she probably needs to have a caffeine limit goal. I feel you. I feel this week, especially, I feel you. But we do our best, right? Okay, so what is getting in your way? Before we get to even the habits, this is the part that a lot of us don't do. We're just like, okay, here's all the things I'm going to do. Here's my habits. Now go. But we want to stop for a second because we have to think about what is going to get in our way. There is something that is going to get in your way. Likely multiple things. Sometimes that is an interruption from, your goal is to leave at contract time. What might get in your way? Your coworker, your admin, different things, right? Can possibly get in your way. Maybe like time. Maybe if your goal is to work out in the morning, maybe, oh, I forgot to set my alarm. That could get in the way. Or, oh, my kids woke me up several times that night and I'm going to be really tired. So think of those things. We want to think of them ahead of time. Sometimes we want to avoid it and make, oh, I don't want to think about that. I just want to be positive. This isn't about being negative. This is about being realistic and looking at what could possibly get in our way of reaching this goal. And then once we've done that, it's like, okay, now I have this list. I have this list of things that could get in the way. And it might even need to be more than this. You can get out another piece of paper if you need to. And then what we're going to do is kick those obstacles to the curb, is what it says. We're going to come up with a strategy for each one. We're going to make a decision ahead of time so that when that happens, when the admin walks in, or when my kids wake me up in the middle of the night, whatever it is, what am I going to do then? What is my strategy for that? And so you write that down. So then when it happens, you're not surprised. And that isn't to say that nothing else is going to come up. We're just preparing ourselves as much as possible. Brooke says, no excuses. Danielle loves this section. Great to think about goals and strategies. Yes. Chris says, I can be my own worst enemy trying to break that habit through coaching. Yes, and it's not even to say that, for example, my kids woke me up in the middle of the night. And there are times where, for example, even earlier this week, we thought one of my kids might have pink eye. And he kept coming in and his eyes were itchy. And I'm like, and this is happening during my event. It's fine. Everything's fine, right? And actually, it doesn't seem like he has it and he's doing great now. But he did wake us up through the night. And it was, you know what? I mean, for this, I still, was here. But there are other times, a lot of times, where I would have been like, no, I'm not going to the gym this morning. And that's okay. That's not going to derail me every once in a while, depending on the situation. We get back to it, right? As James Clear says, skipping once is okay. Skipping twice is the start of a new habit. So that's just where we want to keep track of it with our habit tracker. That's going to come in handy. Okay, so now we've got this spread of our ideal week. You might be thinking this is like your weekly planning. This is not the intention of this page. You'll see what it says is make sure you have enough time for things you need to do in order to reach your goals by organizing your week. And this is your ideal week that you have here. So what you do is you kind of make a template, and I have a full hour-long training in Educate and Rejuvenate Club. We did a coaching call about this, all about your ideal week. So if you're in the club, search the app for ideal week. It'll pop right up. You can watch that full hour-long training that has a Canva template version of it as well, that you can digitally create your ideal week and print it out. So the idea of it is you're creating a weekly template for planning your time. So for example, let's say you have a goal of, I want to exercise before school 3 times a week at least. Well, then what we're going to do is we're going to pick when those 3 times a week are, and we're going to put it in here. And then we're going to put what are your contract hours? We're going to put those, or when you plan on leaving, you put that there. So you have a template that you start your week with every week. So then when you're doing your weekly planning, you have that as a starting point. That's not to say that things don't change. That's not to say that you don't have a dentist appointment one week, or that there's parent-teacher conferences another week, right? That's where this is a starting point. So you're not starting from scratch each week. And the Coach GPT that we have just added to the club is going to help you to walk through your ideal week as well and create that. And then this is just your tangible version of that. Linda says, ooh, this makes it easy to schedule your self-care meeting you've been talking about too. Yes, so you can put that in there. If you're like, I want certain time for self-care, or for things that matter to me, coaching or your therapist, or a girls' night each week, or maybe even if it's once a month, you could even have a spot that's like rotating. You could have like every Tuesday at this time, it's rotating, and sometimes it's this and sometimes it's that, but it's my self-care time. So it's really as much of an art as it is a science. I say that about a lot of different things. You get to make it your own. Monica says so much thought went into this. Love it. Yes. Yeah. And I realized was not even good enough directions on this about the ideal week. So we probably need to like make an insert about that or something. Now you all got the information about how to use those pages, like you said. And we did always include a video with it as well. So you have that. Okay, now we're getting to the habit tracker. So this is, you'll notice it's the blue and the green. So you can have those habits that you thought about that you need to create for your goals. Now, of course, this is yours. You could also have something of other completely different things in there. Like maybe for your goal, there's only like 3 or 4 you're focusing on. And then you also want to be like, drink my water or limit myself to this many cups of coffee or whatever, right? You can have those in there as well. This is yours. You get to use it how you want. And it's a physical habit tracker. There are 12 months of these pages so that you can go through and mark each day. And then you get to visually see how often you're doing these habits. Yes, Fern says something is powerful about writing it down, goals, etc. is powerful. 100%. So it's going to take a little minute to turn these pages because we have so many habit trackers because we want you to have a full year. So let's get through those. Okay, and now we get to your goal checklist. This is where, like we said, to celebrate those little wins along the way, breaking it down so it's not one daunting thing. So if your example is like one that actually somebody did when I was coaching on this a few years ago, is they wanted to start a TPT store and put up their first TPT product. And I was like, okay, well, that's a lot of steps. Like that's quite a few things you're going to do that. So we like went through and we broke down each individual part of it. And then you get to put like what date you're aiming for to get that done by. So then, by this bottom one, it's like, okay, now it's done, but you're going to check off each thing along the way. And Charity said I should be using that for my exercise in the morning. Yeah, you can put your exercise on here, right? And you can decide for certain habits, whether like this is obviously for daily, but some habits, maybe you decide that like for maybe move your body, you could have that. And it's like every day, like I do that for at least like bare minimum amount of time, but at least a few days a week, it needs to be at least 30 minutes or something. Okay, so we've got that. The goal breakdowns, and again, these are the same. It's just for your 2 different goals. And then we get into the power of positive thinking. Like we talked about a lot with the self-coaching model for my homework during Educate and Rejuvenate. We talked about the unintentional models that are always running through our minds, like the thoughts that automatically come up that we realize or maybe even don't realize, and how those thoughts are shaping our feelings, shaping what we do, shaping the results and what we're creating in our lives. And that's why there's power to positive thinking. And it's not just in a cliche way or we always have to think positive way, but there is a power in it, right? So we have this list of possible thoughts that you can always try on when you're like, I'm having a bad day. Let's just turn to this page and see what we've got. So there's everything is happening for me. Nothing has gone wrong here. People are allowed to behave the way they want. We are allowed to react the way we want. Love is always an option. I am an incredible teacher. The world needs what I have to offer as a teacher. I am enough. Some good questions like, what if I knew exactly what to do? Sometimes we're like, I don't know, but then it's like, what if I knew? And we just question that and we see what comes up. What if everything in my life is happening exactly as it should in my classroom and in my life? What advice would your future self give you? That is a really powerful one in any given moment, right? That one is so powerful. I use that one a lot. And what is one thing that I love about myself right now? Right now, not in the future when you hit that goal. What is one thing that I love about myself right now? And then what is something I'm grateful for today? So those are here. And then there's room for you to write your own to have in your book as well. One bookmark may stay right here for me. Yes, I love that, Chris. I love that. Okay, so now that we got through all the stuff in here that's helping you take care of you, now we get into what you'd expect in your teacher planner. So we have important dates for the entire year. We have your class schedules, a special schedule, again, depending on your schedules. And there are some people who've been like, do you have more schedule pages you can always print off? the digital version if you would like. We just couldn't, we can only put so much in the physical book because we had all the other pages too. Also your class list. So we've got those, and we have student, parent, phone, email address on these 2 pages. So you can put those there. This one, okay, this one. So I had the vision for this. I didn't design the entire thing because I'm a decent designer, but I wanted this to be like impeccable design, which is not me. I can't be everything, right? So I hired a designer to actually put my vision into life. And when I saw this page with the actual like birthdays, and she like the detail, the like confetti on the birthdays, I thought that was so fun. So you've got your class birthdays here, so you can do that. And again, let's think of people. What if you're like, I'm subbing, like Charity said, or I'm a homeschool mom. You could cross out class and just put birthdays. It can be other important people in your life and their birthdays. So again, as I'm going through this, think of how, like, yes, there's the way each page was designed, coworkers' birthdays, family birthdays, exactly. So any birthdays you could put here, right? So just remember, you can make this work for you. That's what it's made for. Communication tracker. I've had a lot of teachers say this was very helpful for them for parent communication. So you can put the date, the name, the reason, and just keep track of your parent communication in here. Classy birthdays. I love that. Just put a Y and then it can be classy birthdays if you don't need class birthdays. That's perfect, Kinsey. Yes, Chris says I'm the intervention teacher, so I keep track of coworker birthdays instead. I love that. So again, this is flexible for you. Then we have the password tracker. Who needs this? My team will tell you that I need this. That I should actually be using this myself and have a physical version and not just on the computer. Because again, passwords, aren't they just the biggest pain in the world? So we've got a password tracker for you. Got that there. Self-explanatory. Then we've got many student checklist page, because I was also doing market research when I created this planner, and I looked at other similar planners, and the biggest complaint I saw on planners that there weren't enough checklist pages. So we tried to include quite a few of them. Again, there are always restrictions, especially when you're adding more pages that usually aren't in a teacher planner to it, but we did include many student checklist pages for you to use however you decide you want to use them. So we've got student names, date, and you can use them to track whatever you would like. That's the amazing thing. There's room to like right up here as well. So we've got a lot of them. I'm gonna go through here. Are we there yet? Okay, here we are. So, how many student slots is there? Oh, good question. I don't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30. There are 30. And I know I live in Utah where very often there's more than 30 kids in a class. So again, we do have printable Google versions if you need that for others, or some people, that's why there are a lot of them, and maybe you use like 2 pages for your class for tracking a certain thing. You got to make it work for you. Yes, IEP dates can go in there. Absolutely. Okay, now we've got your year at a glance, where you can do, like, as you're just starting to look at your school year, you've got these pages where you can kind of do overall vision, like when are we going to do certain units? What are certain things that I want to get done in each of these different months? So it's just kind of your, bird's eye view of the school year. You've got the boxes here for that. Then here we've got your monthly plan. And the thing you'll notice about these planners is they are undated. And the very positive thing about that is that you can pick it up and then put it back down again. One complaint we've heard from a lot of people who struggle with a teacher planner is that they're like, oh, I'm not consistent with it. I don't use it all the time. And the great thing about that is you can pick it up again and just keep using it. So like when we were talking to some people we had these at a booth we were doing a few weeks ago, and we're like, oh, this could be your 3-year planner then. If you find yourself not using it as often, right? It's here for you to use whenever you need. So we have the monthly spread. You just write the month and the year. We have to-dos, dates, and then you've got your whole month here. And again, this could be used for teaching. This could also be used personally if you're subbing or you're a homeschool parent and you want to just use it more as your regular calendar. That's absolutely an option too. Nicole says, yes, I always feel guilty if I wasn't consistent and missed months. But if it's empty, then you can continue on. Yes, absolutely. Cindy loves that it is undated. I'm going to finish the 1 year before I start with the next year, as I did that this past year. Yes. And then the other great thing is it's 12 months. So if you're a person and where you do just use it, like during the main months of the school year, then you get a couple extra months worth out of it. But also we have the 12 months because we also know that like we don't always like just forget about school over the summer. I mean, we're here right now, right? Maybe you have your Educate and Rejuvenate stuff in here. So you have the option, right? So April says the perfectionist part of me struggles if I miss a day, then I feel like I need to chuck the whole thing and start new. Yeah. And you don't have to do that. So it's here for you. The and, yes, Chris, I love the and. So good that it never goes to waste. Yes, it doesn't go to waste. It is here for you when you need it. And also sometimes maybe you switch to digital for a while. Maybe you are doing something else for a bit and then you come back to it. That's what's great about it. So we've got a monthly spread, and also everything has a quote. So here's a quote here. This is from the podcast. When we actually feel our emotions, we're able to process and move on from them quickly rather than moving on and not letting them go. So we just get little reminders each month and each week. And then we have 5 weeks in between each month. So these are intended for your school days, for your school planning. So we've got the days here. It does go down if you get the digital version. Let you know some people want it going across, but it goes down. That is how I like it personally, and it definitely is a personal preference on which way. And I just say down and across because it's funny when people are saying horizontal and vertically. We realize that people sometimes have different definitions of that because they meant like, are the days going vertically or is the planning going, or like you know what I mean? Like when we're talking horizontal or vertical, are we talking about the days or are we talking about the way you're writing? So that got confusing. So I just say, up or yeah, whatever way I said it. Jennifer said, I like reading the quotes or references to different podcast episodes. Yes. Yeah. So that we have those quotes throughout. So you always get a little reminder. So here's one on this one. Through self-care, you're ultimately making yourself a more effective teacher for your students. Now here's, again, you're going to have 5 of these between each one. We also have area for you to add your notes and your wins, because we want you, again, like we talked about at the beginning, celebrating those wins. So we have a spot for you to do that. You can do one each day. You can do that reflection at the end of the week. It's up to you how you want to do that. It takes a big heart to teach little minds. I know, popular quote, but it's a good one. This is Ed Milet. Who knows Ed Milet? He's awesome. It says, all things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. But as that decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows stronger. So get these little quotes and reminders each week. Brooke says, it also seems it's a much more manageable size than other giant heavy teacher planners. Yeah, I feel like it's a really good size. It's like, so this is like my hand. It's not like too small, but it's not too big either. We have Christina Kuzmich. Who knows her? She was our keynote for 2 past Educate and Rejuvenate. So we have a quote from her. Give yourself more credit than criticism and more grace than judgment. So there are tons of quotes throughout this planner. The best teachers are those who don't show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Oh, I love that. And then we get back to the monthly spread, right? So we've got the monthly and then the weeklies in between. I love this quote. When you're in the habit of keeping promises you make with yourself, you're on the pathway to self-confidence. Megan says, LOL, the first planner I ever bought is now a doorstep. It is that big and heavy. That's amazing. I also love that is the month and the 5 weeks rather than all the months come together followed by all the other weeks as in traditional planners. Me too, because I hate when you have to do that flipping back and forth. I want my month right by the weeks. And then we realized we had to do 5 because that's many months. Many of them have 5. So it's 5 between every month. Because, it depends on how the days fall on the calendar. Okay, then honestly, I'm not going to read every quote. It repeats, and there are lots of quotes throughout. Oh, but here's another good one. Let go of thoughts and actions that focus on challenges rather than solutions. To the world, you may just be a teacher, but to your students, you are a star. We've got so many great quotes here. While we can't change the circumstances of teaching, coaching tools and strategies can help support you. You got reminders all the time. Okay, so we go through, this is a very long section of the planner because like I mentioned, it is 12 months, 5 weeks between each of the 12 months. So technically, because there are 5 weeks between each of the 12 months, there are more than the 52 weeks in a year. So again, you could potentially use it even a little bit longer. Okay. Because there'll be just some extra bonus weeks in there every so often. Taking a minute to get to the end of the planner. Okay, I'm gonna just, here we go. Got so many of these pages. That just illustrates how many there are. Then we've got a bunch of the grid paper pages that you get to use however you'd like. Those who are using the planner, let us know, how do you use the grid paper pages and the note pages? We've got a bunch of these for you, and you get to use them however you want. This was another thing that I personally do not use these pages as much, but in the reviews, when I was doing the research, there were a lot of people saying they needed more of these. So we've got those for you. And then we've got, yeah, Megan, I've always wondered what goes in the grids. I know, but people were like, there's not enough. So I know bullet journaling is really big. Grid pages for me are seating charts. Ooh, I like that. Notes pages are for staff meeting, seating charts. Oh, that makes total sense. That actually, to model graphing for students, and then I have a record of what I did. See, such great ideas. I love the chat. I love how we get to share with each other and share our ideas. And then we've got a bunch of these note pages, and we try to add as many as we could. I know one thing I would encourage you is, because what I find whenever I use a planner is I'm like, I need to keep these pages only when it's super important. So like, I don't want to waste them, you know? And then I find I'll use a whole planner and I never use those pages because nothing like felt important enough. So just use them. Like, you can always get another notebook if you fill them up, right? So I would encourage using them. So that is the planner. It ends with the note pages. So that is a full walkthrough we have done of this Educate and Rejuvenate Planner. So I'm really excited. We're going to give one away to one of you. Amanda says, so great. Yes, I've done that. Use the pages. Yes, absolutely. So who learned something today? Who learned something about that they're going to take with them into the next school year? What did we learn? April said, are you ready for me to drop the winner? Yes, go ahead and drop the winner. April said, we are ditching, and you can put it in the private chat if you want, because I'm actually going to remember now, because I'm like literally about to do it. Nicole has her hand up. Did you have a question, Nicole? No? Okay. You're good. You're good. I've totally done that too. Yes to ditching the waste mindset. Monica said a well thought out planner. Thank you. I like it. Linda says absolutely. Sarah says that is awesome. Definitely love the goal pages. I would love graph pages similar to dot journaling pages. Oh, we put it in the chat. Winner is Brooke Bigelow. Brooke. She did put it in the chat. She's too fast. Our team's so fast. Brooke, if you can email hello@educateandrejuvenate.com, we will get you your planner. So, and we'll get it in the mail. You'll get to pick your color. So we've got blue, we've got pink, we've got green, but also any of you can get a free planner. So if you would like to join us in the Educate and Rejuvenate Club, if you join us before the 22nd, before the end of this event period, you will get a free planner on your second month. So when your first renewal goes through, and that is because it's going to take me and my husband and my kids some time to package these planners while we get all the giveaway prizes and all the things we're getting ready for our member kickstart day on the 29th. It's going to be so fun. So when you join us, you get one of these planners for free as an additional bonus. It is normally $49.99 in our shop, but you can get one for free when you join us in the Educate and Rejuvenate Club. So let me show you a little bit more about what that is all about for anybody who is interested. Is this a new, has anybody here, is this brand new to you? Have you heard of this before? Tony said she's planning, can start again. I love it. I love that you learned that you can start again. I love hearing these wins. The quotes often speak to the heart when you need it most. Setting goals and celebrating wins. I love the strap at the end is great. Oh, I did forget to mention that, huh? There's a strap. There's a strap to help keep it closed. And I should stop screen sharing for a sec. There's a strap that you can use if you would like. And there's also a little pen holder too. Pen or pencil holder. So you can have your flare pen or your ink joy, what pen would you put in there? What do you use? Okay, Brooke, we're excited for you to get your planner. And also, I'm excited to share how everybody could get one. So if you decide to join us in the Educate and Rejuvenate, I see Inkjoy. Inkjoys are my favorite too. Inkjoys are the new Flair pens, and they're both paper mates. So, they're both great. Charity says pencil so I can erase. I actually love friction pens too. Friction pens, you can erase with them. So they're the best. Danielle says still Flair pens. I love it. And we can all have our favorite pen type, right? Doesn't have to be the same. So our Educate Rejuvenate Club is the continuation of everything we've been doing here at Educate and Rejuvenate. It is really the continuation of this planner, like all the little tips and strategies that I was talking about in this planner. The planner is really going to help you do it. But if you join us over the next year, where we're doing a brand new Educate and Rejuvenate cohort over the next year, where we're having a monthly theme and we're really diving in, and we're going to cover so many different things over the coming year, which I'm not going to be able to explain all of it right now, but it will be on Monday. And you get to be part of that for free, because you could buy that individually for $347, or you could get it included in your club membership, because the club price has not gone up and we've added that. You would get the planner on month 2. You get 20 resource downloads per month that are normally at least $5 each. You also get the platinum pass, all the platinum perks of the Educate Rejuvenate event. That is $127 if you were to buy it right now, but it is included in the club. So again, these are all the goals of our Educate and Rejuvenate Club, what we were talking about in this planner. You can go to educateandrejuvenate.com/club, and it will tell you everything. It'll bring you to this page where you can read through the full thing yourself, because I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what you're going to get is a monthly reset that you can count on. That's going to help you, even remind you to do and use the things that we talked about with this planner. It looks like you showing up on Mondays without that pit in your stomach, because you've already reset your nervous system the night before. It's not just surviving, it's moving through it with purpose. And then you'll get the planner to help you do that too. A more regulated nervous system. You show up to school on Mondays, again, without that pit in your stomach, because you've already reset your nervous system. Oh, wait, I did just barely realize we put the same thing on both of these. So we're going to fix that. I'm like, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Oh, I am repeating myself. So we will fix that. You get a mindset that works for you and not against you. So at 9 p.m., that grading pile is still there, but instead of spiraling into guilt, you can just be like, nope, I'm going to leave that, because we're rewiring our brain, we're rewiring our nervous system, and we're doing it together. And you're going to feel more confidence over the year with boundaries, with saying no to that volunteer committee. You protect your prep period, you trust yourself, and it's really starting to show. And you get to be part of this incredible community that holds you without pressure to perform or do everything right. And you get PD hours all through the year. We include a certificate with every single call that we do. So you get to be part of the monthly, or the cohort, where there's consistent transformational session happening every single month. And we'll talk more about what those look like on Monday, and we'll get that replay in the app as well. We are going to have for those of you who came to the lives at Educate and Rejuvenate, we had a yoga session we start with each morning. We're going to do one together each month as well. You can come live, or you also get them all on demand in the app anytime you need them. But the theme of each yoga each month is going to tie into that monthly theme. So we don't just learn it, but we embody it. And then there's built-in community support. We're going to have the chats in the app specifically with the cohort to talk about what we're learning and what we're applying. And we've got some awesome testimonials from our members here. So there are 2 ways to get the cohort experience. Like I mentioned, you can buy just the cohort experience, which is those 3 things that just showed, for $347, or you can get it free when you join the Educate and Rejuvenate Club, because the price is the same and we just added the cohort, and the price is increasing to $49 after the 22nd. So you will lock in that $37 pricing. So if you join now, we get to start the experience together. You won't be jumping in halfway through. You get to be part of this from beginning to end. So you can choose either the cohort experience for $347, or join the Educate and Rejuvenate Club. That is where you can get the free planner in the mail. You get 20 resource downloads per month. You get the platinum pass to Educate and Rejuvenate Summer 2025, plus pass and future events while you're a member. You get access to the full mobile app with the meditation library, the coaching calls and recordings, the tons of member exclusive giveaways and fun things that we do as part of the club. And we really break down why this is worth it, how it's going to help you throughout the school year on this page. I love seeing, oh, we're talking about pencils in the chat. I'm loving it. I love we're still, we love our pens and pencils as teachers, right? And that's what we do in the club too. We share our favorites, like how yesterday during Platinum Day, we shared our favorite thriller books too. Like it really is a community. And we showed this clip with Carissa during the main event. So make sure that you watch, which session was it? I think it was session 2 where I shared this video clip, or you can just go to educaterejuvenate.com/club and listen to this. Carissa, she is one of our incredible members, and she taught that she had breast cancer shortly after joining the club. And she says that she believes that it's because she had started to pay more attention to herself by making that investment in the club. But again, it was all her, because it was her choice to start paying more attention to herself. But this community was there to support her. And then she shared her news that she was cancer free, and we were all just crying tears of joy. It was beautiful. And we have friends who met each other in person from the Educate Rejuvenate Club. This is a community, and we love each other. Squirrel, yes, Chris knows. We go on our squirrels. In the Educate Rejuvenate Club, again, the platinum access to our events, the full coaching library, 3 years worth of replays, such as like when I mentioned, oh, the ideal week I talk about in here. I'm going to touch on it for a couple minutes right now, but there's a full hour-long workshop that's really going to help you break that down. And you can always speed it up if you want, or just listen to parts of it to get a little bit more of an idea of it. And we've got additional open coaching calls. So for those who were here at Platinum Day yesterday, there was some open coaching. We have some very vulnerable raw coaching. It's not all, sometimes it's like, smaller things. And sometimes we can actually get pretty deep, and we're there and we hold each other. Whatever comes up, we are here for it. And we learn so much from it. We learn what we can do, what we can apply through that coaching. And then we have our ready to go teaching resources that you get access to in the member library, that you can download up to 20 per month on the monthly plan. And eventually it unlocks even more the longer that you are a member as well. The meditation library, where we have quite a few meditations in there, 5, 10, 15, or 20 minute. And we plan on adding more throughout the next year, as well as some for the intention of using it with your students as well, even though some of our members have already been doing that with the ones that are there. And then we have quarterly book club discussions that we're going to be discussing books that tie into what we're doing in the cohort through the year, that help us feel uplifted and inspired and help us keep going. And they really bring us together. And all these experiments are part of the Educate and Rejuvenate Club option, including the free planner on month 2, the fast action. I think we will honor that because it's still here. So we will honor that for those who join now. So again, little things on the page we need to tweak. We also added our AI coaching bots. So we went over those yesterday. So if you want to see a full rundown of the AI coaching bots, but I know some of you were there. So for those of you who were there, how are those AI coaching bots? We had one of the comments in the chat said, "This is so fun. It just helped me." Melissa just tried it out. But she was obviously talking about the money coach. It just helped me figure out how much to set aside each week in order to have the money we need for our trip to California. So one of the reasons a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do the club. I love everything about it, but it's the money. That bot alone can help you with your money so much that it really makes the club a net positive, because we have trained this bot in how to use the observe, choose, align framework to create an aligned spending plan, and to be able to help you find savings, and to be able to help you know what to cut and also what to keep, to make sure you're still prioritizing yourself as well. And we've got our life coach GPT that can do, like, if you want to do any, like a lot of the things in the planner, it can coach you in real time, but also the intentional schedule coach is very helpful for that as well. That one is very well trained in my intentional weekly planning framework, and then celebrating your wins at the end of the week and then doing it again the next week. So each week you might want to get out that GPT and do your weekly planning with it. And then the lesson curator coach, which can help match you with what you're looking for with a resource that is included in your 20 downloads in the Educate and Rejuvenate Club, or it can create something for you if it can't find what you're looking for, or you're just looking for something a little bit different. But it has been trained in how to include differentiation, and to ask for standards, and to ask for your grade level, and all the information that it needs to create something really awesome. And we are still working on the life coach GPT. I would say is pretty well trained. and the intentional schedule coach GPT. That one is very specific. I would say that one is good to go. The other two we are still tweaking because they are in beta mode, but we will be continuing to improve them. We love your feedback on those as well. And then who's leading you through this experience? That's me. So if you're still here on this live, hopefully we've been having fun together. We'll continue having fun over this next school year, but not just having fun. We have a lot of fun. We also get really deep at times. And we also like hold each other when we need it. We laugh together. We cry together. We know that we're not going through life and all of our challenges alone. So that is what the club is all about. Chris says, always fun. I love it. I always feel like even when it's a really tough moment and someone's there to like, we're here together, we're holding them, we feel the range of emotions, but by the end, we're always like, yes, this was an experience that helped me. Like in some way, I was able to take something from that. I really appreciate the insights game, what Fern said. Nicole said, I've had fun just this first week. Nicole, we're so glad you've been having fun this week. We're going to continue it this year as well. We're going to have such a great time. Charity says, I've gotten so much out of the club that I took the plunge and joined Lifetime last summer. The club is worth it for your mental health. Yes, we did have Lifetime. We had the Lifetime offer where it was $997 last year. So $997 for a Lifetime membership. And we had about 80 people join us in that Lifetime membership. Now it's not open right now. Right now, your option is to join for $37. But if at some point you decide, yes, I am all in, I want to be a lifer, we are going to open that a few times or once or twice in 2026. So it is coming again, but you have to have been a member for at least 6 months in order to qualify for Lifetime. So now would be join so that when we open it in 2026, if you decide you want it, you can. And also, it's just as valid to stay on the monthly plan too. Okay, so what some of our members have had to say, we've got tons of testimonials here. I've read some from the chat. It's a great time. If you're still deciding, still debating, have any questions, we've got you. Read the testimonials from our fellow members, see what they have to say. Maybe that'll help. But also, we're always here to answer your questions. Email us at hello@educateandrejuvenate.com. We want you to make the decision that's best for you. And what I will tell you is this is not like I'm trying to get you to be locked into this monthly membership. So like you pay each month and you forget about it. We really want this to be something that is powerful for you, that you feel like you are getting 10 times your investment in your mental health and maybe even some saving money with the resources and with the money coach, right? We want this to be a net positive 100%, like no questions asked, this was worth it type of investment in yourself. So if you want to join us, we have all the information here. We've also got a lot of FAQ. I also do a lot of that in my third session of Educate and Rejuvenate that you can check out. So if we have any questions, you can let me know even while we're here too. But to learn more, you can go to educateandrejuvenate.com/club. And again, when you do that, you will get this planner for free. We will send you a form for you to give us your color preference and to confirm your mailing address, because we have found that if we just send it to the one that's on checkout, it sometimes comes back to us. So we like to confirm your address, and also then you get to pick your color, right? Because there's not like a way for us to do that while the checkout is not for the planner. So we need to get your color preference. All right, so watch your emails for that. For those, I know there's some of you here who just recently joined too. So make sure that you watch for that email at the right time. And we will email you that information as well. We want to make sure that you know that it is coming. We are getting this to you. So any other questions about the planner, about the community? Furnace says, a great community to be a part of. It sure is. I love our Educate and Rejuvenate community. I love everybody here, each and every one of you. It's not about numbers or any of that. It is us coming together as a community, doing this together, knowing that we're not in this alone. And this coming year, we are going to really change how we honor our boundaries, really change how we think, how we regulate ourselves, how we take that space to pause, and we're doing it together. Chris says, this community got me through last year. Yes, and you will get me through too. I hope you know that. It's mutual. Like, it is life-giving for me to be here and to be your coach and for us to be together and doing this. I mean, this work, but I don't love the word work because that makes it sound like, oh, it's another thing I have to do. It's not about that. It's we're doing this together. And one of the toughest losses of my life, truly. Yes, we've had a lot of grief in the club lately, but we all go through that. It is a human thing we all go through, and we are here to support each other through it. And we're so glad that we're able to support each other. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being on this live with us. It was fun to walk through the planner, give tips for planning intentionally, and I will see you soon. If you would like to see the coaching in action, we have a live coaching call happening tomorrow. I know it's a Saturday, but we just had like a limited time period during this event. So it's happening tomorrow. And then it is the only work thing I'm doing tomorrow because I also need a little breather as well. So I'm going to rest up well tonight, be fresh and ready to coach you in the morning. And then I'm going to rejuvenate as well. We're all going to rejuvenate this weekend. So Nicole says, thank you. Now go rest. Yes, I need to practice what I preach, right? We all need to do that. So I hope this weekend that you enjoy some time doing what lights you up. Maybe watch some replays if that feels good to you. It'll also be here for you next week. And if you're in the club, you've also got as much time as you want for it too. So April said, thank you for everything. Going to go catch up on some replays. Yes, go for that, April. The replays are amazing. They're going to be there for you. And I will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.